How did you get on with the quiz? It's quite challenging thinking about what we need and what we really need. In fact, I think lockdown has made us all reconsider our shopping quite a lot, especially those of us who have resisted going to the actual supermarket. This story is very much about one man who's got a lot and one man who has nothing. And it's about the attitude of the man, I believe, who had lots but wasn't willing to share it. It has made me think a lot about what have I got? How do I share it? Do I consider it to be mine? And I honestly think that coming out of lockdown, that is going to be a real challenge. Certainly for me, I've got used to the house being tidy and no grandchildren leaving toys all over the place. I've got used to not sharing my nice biscuits in the tin. I've got used to not sharing my time in terms that people don't just turn up on the doorstep. And yet, I don't think that's what God wants. I think God wants us to share all that we've got. And that's about putting him first, isn't it? It's about saying, actually, these things don't belong to me. They belong to God. And they're there for me to share with other people. Have a look at the activity. There's a clock in the next activity. Have a look at it, and if you don't want to make up the clock, that's fine. But just have a think about how you spend your time over a 24-hour period. Perhaps each in the family could write down when they go to bed, when they get up, when they have breakfast, when they have lunch, what you do during the morning, whether it's walking or doing schoolwork or playing with your toys. Record those things and to create a clock and see how you spend your time. I thought when lockdown came that I would be able to spend a lot more time with God, that I'd have a lot more time, and therefore I started off well. I was going to read John's Gospel. I don't know what happened, but that didn't continue. And I think it's one of my regrets that I haven't used this time to spend more time with God and get to know him better. It's a privilege we have to know Jesus and God. It's a privilege we have to read our Bibles. But I think sometimes because it's easy to do and it's right there beside us, and we do have time, if we think it's important, then sometimes we just simply don't get around to it because, well, we can do it tomorrow. We can do it another time. I've been fascinated by the fact that during lockdown, the time they spend on social media, not surprisingly, has gone up. People are spending about 2.5 hours a day on social media. And yet I, for one, am saying I didn't have more time for God. I'm feeling quite challenged. I'll leave you to think about it and see what God is saying to you. God bless.